Hi, welcome back. We're continuing our Elements of Art project. In the first video, I showed you how to create the sections for each space for each one of our elements, and we looked at how to create the title for the center. In this video, we're going to label our sections and then start designing inside. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to label my sections. That way I accidentally don't make two sections that are the same. Or I mix up sections. So I'm going to put value here, form here, color, space, line, texture, and shape. Yours do not have to be in this order. You can put them in whatever order that you want. And you can start with whichever ones that you want. So the first one I'm going to start off with is texture. So texture is the way that something feels, or the way something looks like it should feel. So something could feel slippery, something could feel rough, something could feel smooth. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some cactus or some cacti. I'm going to give it a prickly texture. And to give it that texture, I'm going to put short, quick little lines. And that's going to help it look like it has a prickly texture. And then I'm going to add another one. And this one I'm going to put some little flower buds on them. And notice my designs aren't super complicated, they're not super complex, but they are still giving that look of texture. And I didn't have to do anything super complicated. I'm going to add one more cactus over here. And notice I'm varying the heights and I'm varying the type. So even though they all have texture, they're still going to look different. And notice these aren't very complicated designs. I'm just using simple shapes. And I'm using overlapping too. Notice how some go behind others. And for this one, instead of doing a spiny or flowers, I'm going to do little V's. And this is going to give texture as well. So notice I just did 3 different ways to do 3 different textures of a cactus. So it's all the same. Okay, so there's texture. And I'd go back later and add some color to it. The next one let's do is space. Excuse me. So space is the area around something, between something, or within something. So you can see in my example here, I made a penguin and it's black, and then on the inside I did a baby penguin, but I only used the white of the background of the paper to become the baby penguin. So I've used the space of the background to make an image as well. But for my example, I'm going to show you an easier space. I'm going to show you something that has foreground, middle ground, and background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a line, And I'm going to draw a road. And the road's going to get wider as it comes out. And then I'm going to draw a house. And some trees. I'm not going to make anything too complicated here. Put door, window. Okay, so I have my foreground as my front. And notice I went behind this tree to give the illusion that this tree is in front of this space. Okay, so now I have foreground, middle ground, and here in the back is going to be the background. So I'm just going to put some hills back here. And let's add a cloud. Okay, notice I'm staying in my section here too. My lines my lines I'm drawing are stopping when I hit this triangular spot. Okay, and that's because I'm separating all of the objects. Excuse me. So you can see now I have a foreground, which is in the front, a middle ground, the things that are in the middle, and then a background, things that are in the back. And then I would go ahead and add colors to those as well. Remember, as things are closer to you, the color is darker. And as you get further and further away, things become lighter. All right, the next one we're going to do is, let's do value. So for value, I'm not going to use a Sharpie. For value, I can use a crayon or a colored pencil or a regular pencil. And what I'm actually going to do is take my paper over here and I'm going to divide my paper into sections. Let's see. This section is 9, so it's 4.5. It's not going to divide evenly, but it's okay. Well, it won't divide evenly, so I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. So here's a section, and I'm going to make this really easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've divided it into 4 sections. And I'll put this in Sharpie so you can see it better. Oops. Now, value is the range of lightness and darkness of tones or colors. So tones are grays, blacks, and whites. So like your pencil, when you're shading with your pencil, that's value. Colors are obviously when I'm going to use color. So a very easy way to illustrate color is to apply pressure. So when I'm coloring, this top section here is going to be a dark purple. So I'm going to color the whole section in a very dark purple. So you should be coloring probably as hard as you can without breaking your crayon. I'm notorious for breaking crayons because I color too hard, so I'm going to try not to break the crayon. Alright, so that's a dark purple. And then this next section, I'm just not going to press as hard. So it's going to be a dark purple as well, but it's not going to be as dark as this one, as the top one. When I'm coloring, I should either color in kind of circular motions called scumbling, or if I'm coloring, I should keep it all in the same direction, up and down or left to right. That way it's even and I don't see the pencil marks, or the marks of the crayon. Okay, so notice this is the darkest, then this is a little bit lighter, And then the same thing, I'm gonna go, and this section is gonna be even lighter. And then my last one is gonna be super light, barely holding on to that crayon and making it as light as possible. So notice I used one crayon, one color, and I went from a range from dark to light. That is value. That's what I mean when I'm talking about value. Okay. Let's see. The next one is form. So form is something that's three-dimensional. Okay. I'm going to make this really easy, and I'm going to draw three-dimensional objects. So I'm going to start with a cone. And a cone starts off as a triangle, but it curves at the bottom. And now I have a cone. Next is a cylinder. Cylinder has an oval top, and then the lines come straight down. And then again, the bottom is going to curve. Next is a cube. Cube has a square top. And then these points are going to come straight down. And now for the bottom here, notice how the top here goes this angle. The bottom also needs to go at this angle. Same angle, they're parallel. And then same thing on this side. This angle goes this way, so does this bottom. They need to match. All right. And I can do the same thing over here with the rectangular prism. These are to the side here. These are going to come straight down. This line matches this line, and this line matches this line. Okay, and you just continue to do that with your forms to create a three-dimensional look. Okay, I'm going to stop the video here, and then we'll finish the last three in the next video.